Dear students, now let us read the story The Address. It has been written by Marga Minko. This short story is a poignant account of a daughter who goes in search of her mother's belongings after the war in Holland. When she finds them, the objects evoke memories of her earlier life. However, she decides to leave them all behind and resolve to move on. As you have been mentioned, Marga Minka goes to visit the address which her mother had given her because on that address their belongings had been kept. She goes there two times. She finds her belongings lying there in tasteless way, and finally she resolves to forget them and to move on to leave them forever. Let's read the story. Do you still know me? I asked. The narrator asked the lady if she knew her. The woman looked at me searchingly. She had opened the door a chink. I came closer and stood on the step. The narrator went closer. She went nearer to the door as the lady who was standing at the door had opened the door a little. So the narrator went there and asked if she recognized her, if she knew her. But what she said, let us see. No, I don't know you. I am Mrs. S. daughter. She held her hand on the door as though she wanted to prevent it opening any further. Her face gave absolutely no sign of recognition. She kept staring at me in silence. The lady who was standing at the door, she bluntly refused to recognize her. She said that she did not know her. Then the narrator herself told about her. She said that she was the daughter of Mrs. S. That lady held her hand closely at the door as she wanted not to let the narrator into the house. Her face, as the narrator watched her face gave no any recognition that she knew her, and continuously she kept staring at the narrator in silence. Perhaps I was mistaken. The narrator thought that probably she had gone at the wrong address, I thought. Perhaps it is not her. She thought that probably it was not that lady. I had seen her only once fleetingly, and that was years ago. It was most probable that I had rung the wrong bell. The narrator herself thought that she had seen Mrs. Dorling. She had seen that lady a long ago and only for a short time. She thought that probably she had rung the bell at the wrong address. The woman let go of the door and stepped to the side. She was wearing my mother's green knitted cardigan. The wooden buttons were rather pale from washing. She saw that I was looking at the cardigan and half hid herself again behind the door, but I knew now that I was right. The lady, the lady tried to hide herself, but she let the door open a little more, and then the narrator watched that she was wearing the green knitted cardigan of her mother. She noticed that the wooden buttons of the cardigan had turned a little yellowish because of washing, and as that lady felt that the protagonist was watching her cardigan, she tried to hide herself behind the door, but now the narrator came to know that she had come at the correct address. She had not made any mistake. Well, you know my mother, I asked. Have you come back? Said the woman. I thought that no one had come back, only me. Now the narrator asked her if she knew her mother, if she knew Mrs. S, and that lady asked her if she had come back. She added that she had thought that no one had returned, no one would come back. Probably all of them had been killed in the war. She had thought so. But the narrator replied that only she had gone there. A door opened and closed in the passage behind her. A musty smell emerged. Behind that lady, a door opened in the passage and a foul smell came out. Emerged means came out. I regret I cannot do anything for you. I have come here especially on the train. I wanted to talk to you for a moment. That lady said that she regretted. She was sorry that she could not do anything for her at that time. But the narrator said that she had gone there, especially on the train, only in order to have a little conversation with her, only to talk to her. But the lady said, "It is not convenient for me now," said the woman. "I cannot see you another time." That lady told the narrator that it was not a good time for her that time, it was not convenient for her then, and she said that she could not visit her at that time and asked her to come some another time. She nodded and cautiously closed the door as though no one inside the house should be disturbed. She nodded. She shook her head and then she closed the door very slightly, very peacefully, so that any other person in the house might not be disturbed. I stood where I was on the step. The curtain in front of the bay window moved. The narrator stood there. She was standing at the step. She had not thought what she should do and what not to do. She was standing there and she felt that the curtain behind the bay window moved. Someone stared at me and would then have asked what I wanted. She thought that probably someone had looked at her and asked her what she wanted. "Oh, nothing," the woman would have said. It was nothing. And she thought that probably the woman, that lady, Mrs. Dorling, would have told that there was nothing to worry, and it had been nothing. I looked at the nameplate again. Dorling, it said, in black letters on white enamel, and on the jamb a bit higher the number 46. She looked at the nameplate. It had been written Dorling on the white enamel in black letters. Enamel means a transparent glass or opaque, you may know as opaque glass. And on the jamb a bit higher the number 46, and a little above it had been written the number 46, that it was the house number 46. Dear students, remaining in the next video.